7:01 p.m. We'd like to go ahead and get this meeting started. The City Council for the City of Brookshire will hold a special section City Council meeting
Demonstration of Wirecast.
and public hearing on the proposed budget for the fiscal year of 2024 through 2025 on September the 26th, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. in City Council chambers to consider the following. Like to do a prayer and a pledge, please, before we do anything else.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Our gracious Father in heaven, we are thankful for the blessings of this day which Thou hast given unto us. We're grateful, Father, for this great country that we are blessed to live in, for the great state of Texas, and for our city of Brookshire. Father, we're grateful for the good news of the gospel and for being reminded to love Thee above all others and to love our neighbors as we love ourselves.
This is a demonstration
We
of
pray,
Wirecast.
Father, this night that we might remember that we always serve Thee best when we seek to serve each other first. We pray that we might make this night decisions with wisdom and guidance for all of our city. We ask for You to be with our loved ones and those that cannot be with us, that they might be held in the hollow of Thy hand. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
This
for which
is a
it stands,
demonstration of
one nation,
Wirecast.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Molina, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Alderman Green,
Present.
Alderman Taylor. Here. Alderman McAnally,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Richards,
Present.
Mayor Branch,
Present.
Alderman McDade.
This is a
Present.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Give a quorum.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Next, we'll move to agenda item number 5, public comments. Per Texas Open Meeting Act and Texas Government Code 551.007, City Council may not discuss or take action on any item not listed on the agenda. Each member of the public wishing to speak must sign in prior to the meeting,
This is a
and
demonstration
it is
of
limited
Wirecast.
to 3 minutes. Okay. I have 3 people that's for topic 8. I'll get back to y'all in a little bit. And Darrell Davis.
Hello, Council. How y'all?
Good evening.
All right.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I come this evening to y'all, speaking on behalf of the city administration position y'all trying to counsel. Last city council meeting, I came and absorbed all the information from all the conversation and the comments.
This is a
went
demonstration
back
of
and,
Wirecast.
I pull up the responsibility of that position, and I couldn't find no areas where they wasn't being covered. And I even went back, looked at some of the meetings prior, and some of the comments of citizens of Brookshire, and it was related. You could see spurts of improvement.
This is a
So if it's
demonstration of
improvement,
Wirecast.
and we have a member that's bringing forth her worth to the city, to better the city for the citizens. Why would we shoot ourselves in the foot and counsel that? That didn't make sense to me. So I was asking, wanted to ask the council, why is that? Why are we doing that? Why? One thing I didn't hear the last meeting.
This is a
I didn't hear
demonstration of
anybody say they was
Wirecast.
willing to learn, because her resume was thick. Even had previous employees coming, speaking on her behalf. So, you know, that kind of speaks loudly to me. It says a lot. And so I'm like, well, I wanted to ask you guys why. And if that's going to be eliminated, the vote's going to be in front of the citizen of Brookshire.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Because everybody got to be held accountable for their actions. And if that's an action that wants to be taken, I want to see who's going to be held accountable for it. Because if the position wasn't needed, she would have never been here. For her to come here and for it to be accepted, that means we needed help somewhere. And so I'm not speaking as one person. I'm just looking at it over the city as a whole.
This is a demonstration of
Everyone up here
Wirecast.
on the council board is council member. 2 years to prove yourself. Ms. Jennifer's here only, Ms. Ward was here only a little over a year and a few months. I don't think there's ample enough time for to make a decision and say cancel it out. No one on the panel's been canceled out. Everybody get 2 years to prove what you have positive to add and raise the bar after you leave. If you're not reinstated, raise that bar
This
so
is a
the person
demonstration
coming up
of
under you
Wirecast.
will have a bar to reach and make it even better for the citizens. That's all I have to say. All right,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Kennedy? I couldn't read you right, the first name.
Juanita.
Juanita?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you as well. I've campaigned for you
This
before,
is
so
a
I know you very well.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Good evening, Mayor Branch, council, and citizens. My name is Juanita McFarland Kennedy. Brookshire is my home. I no longer reside in the city, but my mother and many family members do. I'm here approximately 2 to 3 times a week contributing to my city, which I love. I've actively campaigned directly for multiple council members, some of which who are currently sitting on this council tonight. Many had platforms
This
to
is a
advocate for
demonstration
all
of
citizens
Wirecast.
of Brookshire. I am here to speak on the removal of the city administrator position as well from the budget currently held by Jennifer Ward. I have watched multiple meetings online and I have attended a few. We all know city business is not always pretty, but what I witnessed last week was a complete embarrassment. I believe this is not just about eliminating the position, but another tactic to get rid of Ms. Ward for the 4th time. She has performed her
This is a
job requirements.
demonstration of
She has gone
Wirecast.
above and beyond to make this city better. Now, this nonsense about taking our city back is not, let me repeat, not the state of the mind for most citizens. The city of Brookshire is a diverse city where everyone has a voice and deserves respect. It may be true for a select few who are making sure twisted campaign promises come to fruition. They say when you want to know something, go ask for yourself. I did.
This
So
is a
I asked Jennifer
demonstration of
myself, what have
Wirecast.
you actually done for the city? She has a whole book of accomplishments, and all this is small print, and this is just not even the whole book. This is just some of the things that she has done for this city in the short time that she has been here. But due to the lack of time, I'll just name a few. This information is available to all of y'all, all the citizens here if you want it. She gave it to me with no problem. So, to start, number 1, she adjusted the payroll to market standards,
This is a
giving pay
demonstration of
increases to
Wirecast.
employees that had not received raises in over 10 years. 10 years, guys, come on. She balanced the budget and saved the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. And per the last meeting, the previous administration just copied and pasted data from the previous budgets twice. You can't go nowhere with that. She reduced city taxes and it was able to pass significant savings on to citizens by finding errors in the previous tax records. One citizen who I personally spoke with mentioned receiving
is a
thousands of
demonstration
dollars
of
in a
Wirecast.
refund check. She increased capital investments dedicated to maintaining the improving city infrastructure by preparing for the growth within the city that's upcoming. Also helped with police technology and equipment enhances, replaced all police radios, body cams, and dispatch software and uniforms. And that's just a few of the things that's on this list. I will pass this around to all of y'all who are really indeed want to know what she has done.
This is a demonstration.
So
of
I will go on.
Wirecast.
To be clear, this city administrator's role is pivotal in moving the city forward. The city is growing exponentially. You see the new school, you see the new neighborhoods, you see the new businesses and the new infrastructure. It's happening. And the city has to keep up and move forward with competent, qualified, and knowledgeable staff. If Jennifer Ward doesn't do this and the position is eliminated, who is going to step up and do it?
This is a demonstration.
All
of
I want to know,
Wirecast.
all I want to say is Jennifer's hard work, dedication, and commitment to this city should be celebrated, appreciated, and not eliminated. In closing, the city administrator's position, if the city administrator's position is eliminated, you will not be taking your city back. You will be taking your city backwards. And that is the truth.
Okay, time.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Next, we have Pastor Willie Johnson.
I know I would probably be given less time than I would probably give people to speak at my church. I've seen your in-house fight. I've pastored in Brookshire for 26 years. I've
This
seen
is a
things happen
demonstration
here in
of
Brookshire
Wirecast.
was ugly. I've seen when you had a heart attack and we visited you at the hospital and they fought you, didn't want to give you your insurance. I've seen where we've had storms, and recently we just had a freeze. It was dark everywhere. I looked around asked the question, where the police, where city council? Trees in the road. I wonder why they wasn't cut. I guess public work didn't have
This
salt.
is a demonstration
cut
of
the tree.
Wirecast.
Then I look and I say, okay, now you want to get ready to city administrator. I looked at it, talked to other cities and asked them, did they have one? They said, yeah. What's their role? Budget, buy equipment, make sure everything is operating, talk to the police department, make sure this is done. They maintain the duty of the city while most of us are at work.
This is a
Now,
demonstration
as a
of
city,
Wirecast.
remember this. Remember this. The very people that voted you in are watching you. The very people that you have talked to and asked to support you, remember this. They watching you. I speak to every pastor. We meet with the police department. We working to meet with the school board. I haven't even met the folks
This
on the
is a
board at
demonstration
KBJ,
of
and I live
Wirecast.
in Brookshire. And I asked the question is, well, where we going now? You going back? City administrator bought police cars. Bought tractors. Stuff we didn't have. Stuff we couldn't get. Now, who gonna do that job now? Google up Katy and see what they city administrator do.
This
We
is a
were
demonstration
bigger
of
than
Wirecast.
Fortune. And now Fortune got us. Better yet, drive downtown Katy. They used to have a basketball court and a pool downtown Katy. But they decided to kill it. So I say this, We watching. We voted you in. And we can vote y'all out.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The other three people that signed up to speak, we're going to wait till we get to agenda item number 8. Okay, we have number 6 as public hearing for proposed budget for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. Time.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I'd like to have discussion. The attorney. Sure. Yes. So, is there still an opportunity to make changes to this budget right now?
Well, now, this is just a public hearing.
Okay.
So I think all we do is open up the public hearing, entertain citizen comments, with the understanding that when you get to that action item, you will be considering not only the budget that was submitted, but your proposed.
This is a demonstration of
right, thank you.
The hearing
Wirecast.
should reflect both of those options.
Thank you.
So Mayor, I think we just open up the public hearing. If anybody wants to speak, nobody does, we'll shut it out.
I did at 7:16.
Anybody want to speak during the public hearing?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I think, Mayor, we can close the public hearing.
No one wants to speak. Okay. I will close this hearing at 7:18. Next item is number 7. Consider and take action on consent agenda items listed under the consent agenda or considered routine
This
and
is a
or generally
demonstration of
enacted in
Wirecast.
one motion. The exception to this rule occurs when a council member requests one or more items removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. Letter A is Police Department.
Police Department report.
This is a
Mr. Hines?
demonstration of
Police
Wirecast.
Department report.
It's right
It's in there. All he's going to do is list all of them, and if you can ask if you want to have something pulled out.
Correct.
Did you want to have that pulled out?
I looked over it, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Mr. Green, you have anything?
Those are,
I think if nobody wants to pull an item, a motion just to approve the consent agenda.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item we have is LJA Engineering Report.
No.
This is a
We're now at
demonstration
8A.
of Wirecast.
Oh, y'all gonna approve all of them?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Apologize.
No discussion.
Okay, we'll move down to agenda item number 8, new business. Letter A, discussion and possible action to adopt the proposed budget for 2024 and 2025 fiscal year. What else we got?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And also, we have letter B, discussion and possible action about 12th Street expansion or improvement by potential developer. And last one is C, discussion and possible action in regards to how major thoroughfare project affects the plans for the new commercial building at 540 FM 359 and
demonstration of
consider
Wirecast.
possible variance to resolution number 1343.
I understand there may be some need to consider items B and C together, but can we consider item A separately?
Actually, I would prefer you handle
It
each
is.
one individually.
Any discussion on A?
I have nothing on A.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Budget. Is this an opportunity to make changes or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, we would like to, propose changes. Okay. 1 second.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Public Works Director. We would like to promote Mr. Clint Taylor to Public Works Director. Well-
May I? Really, the budget doesn't have anything to do with individual positions or promotions. It really just has to do with the focus of the position itself.
So that's what I think Mr. Richards is trying to say, is that we want to move, we have two superintendents,
Okay, I
and
just wanna make sure we're on the same page.
he's wanting to fund
This
that public.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Absolutely. Okay. Also, we'd like a reassignment of administrative assistant that was doing the grants to executive assistant for mayor and city secretary. And hire a community outreach liaison full-time.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Hire a contract animal control. Hire a grant writer full-time. And I don't know if it's appropriate, but we would like to, there's one employee that we would like bilingual pay for one of the positions up front.
Okay.
This is a demonstration
That's
of
one of the,
Wirecast.
Administrative,
So one of the administrative assistant positions.
right,
will
right.
be bilingual.
Is that a clerk? Is that a permits clerk? Is that right? Okay, right. We'd also like to reassign one of the, is it permits clerks to the assistant for accounts, public accountant.
For Stacy's
Yeah,
position.
reassign as
Okay.
assistant,
This is a
yes.
demonstration of Wirecast.
And of course, we have the removal of the city administrator from the budget. Right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. That's the proposal.
Just to let you know, in this budget that was put on top of yours, that wasn't in the original packet, that does have, with the exception of the bilingual pay,
This is a demonstration
those
of
changes were made in
Wirecast.
salaries. And
Right. I see the reduction here.
it's because the city administrator.
Right, I see it. I see it.
So it's good. So it sounds like there was an alternate budget actually put together.
There was,
And the numbers balanced,
Already put in
with
place.
the exception of the bilingual. increase in
Correct.
that one
Yeah.
position. We'll have to come back with an amendment at some point.
yeah.
Also, would like to remove the flock cameras from the budget.
Okay.
Okay. And add those
This
funds
is a
into beautification.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Are those being paid for out of ARPA funds?
No,
No? Okay. The flock cameras are not coming from ARPA funds?
no, flock was not under ARPA.
And just for discussion purposes, there's some work that needs to be done to Hovis Park. Hovis Park needs a lot of work, okay? And so
This
I
is a
think under
demonstration of
equipment,
Wirecast.
building maintenance, we should be able to get some of that work done. And I know that some of it will be done with EDC funds, but there's some safety issues at Hovis Park, and we have kids over there playing softball and playing at that park. And so there's safety things that need to be done now at that park, and we can use money from the building maintenance fund for that. Right. That's all I have. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing.
This is a demonstration
transitional
of
ladder.
Wirecast.
That was written. It needs to be revised.
Which one?
This letter here, the transitional letter. There's some inaccurate information in this transitional letter. Okay? So I would like to make a motion that it be revised or either removed from the budget.
I would say that it really doesn't have anything to do with the budget, so I think you can just remove the transition letter.
Okay.
Transmittal, yeah.
Remove the transitional letter from the budget.
Yeah, and really what's presented to the public, the transmittal letter and all
This is
that's
a
not included in
demonstration
that.
of
It's really
Wirecast.
just the budget cover sheet that says how much the budget is being increased, and then the actual budget, so.
I understand that, but the
I
transmittal,
will remove it from
All right.
the record.
Thank you.
Yes.
Erica,
Thank
correct me
you.
if I'm wrong, but I think that was just presented to the mayor and council as a
It's-
courtesy to go,
Informational, yes.
okay.
that's all I have.
I have a question for council. Is it possible to go into executive session to discuss?
This is a demonstration of
If you
Wirecast.
have questions about the legal implications of some of the budget amendments that you're proposing, then yes.
I'd like to go into executive session. Yes, sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Do we want to,
We need to
do we want to
second
do
this
items B
motion
and
first.
C before we move into executive session so that those folks aren't stuck here until after we get done if they want to
Oh.
leave?
Baby with the,
Oh,
if that's okay with council.
Can we do that? Can we just do
This is a
items B and then item
demonstration
C
of
and then go into
Wirecast.
executive session, come back
All
to
in
A?
favor?
You're not gonna vote, 'cause it's
I
a-
know, but I want to see if they all.
It's an informal, he's asking an informal survey of,
I do recall that there was a couple citizens that had reserved their public comment time to this section. It would, before we do move on, it'd probably be appropriate to,
Go ahead and let them
they
speak.
don't have to sit around until.
Okay. Let me get my list. Henry Thompson?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
how you doing?
Now,
So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for giving us the time to comment on. Sorry about that. First and foremost, I want to once again thank
This
everybody
is a
for giving us the
demonstration
time to
of
make comments
Wirecast.
and to hear our concerns about what's going on 13th Street. So for those of us who don't know, my name is Henry Thompson, and I'm joined here by my wife, Excel, and my mother-in-law. And for those of us who've passed down 359, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen the sign that says Milk and Brew coming soon. That's who we are. So we're attempting to construct a coffee shop on, at the cross-section of 13th Street and 359. And the reason that we're here is because since the initiation or the beginning of our process of the application, we've done pretty much
This is a
everything we could
demonstration of
possibly do to make sure all of our
Wirecast.
T's are dotted, our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted. Basically taking care of every procedural thing that we could do, all the way from pre-developmental meetings with Ardura before it was switched over to LJA. We've met with the Water District, BKDD, and everybody possible to make sure that this is a thorough process on our construction, which brings me to the alarming news that I heard about 13th Street being widened 15 feet on each side. That would severely impact our business, considering the fact that we've already been
This
approved
is a
with our civil
demonstration of
plans,
Wirecast.
which, I mean, our civil plans have to do with, just like the little, the outskirts of 13th Street. So if you remove 15 feet from our property, that's basically taking like 3,200 square feet away from our business. That's essentially removing the building off of the lot and saying it doesn't exist. And we've been going through this process about 2 years, and we've been spending quite a few, quite a bit of money just paying the engineers, paying the architects, and making sure that everything's taken care of. And so when I heard the news, I went down to the city. Mind you, I've been in contact with LJA for quite some time, and they haven't been the most responsive. It's been very difficult to get responses from them. I've called, left emails, I've left voicemails. I called Miss Shana, and just many times I've tried to get in touch with them, and it's been extremely difficult. And essentially, we've been approved in the application process by every other jurisdiction necessary. As I stated before, the Water District, BKDD, everybody else in order to start construction. Is just LJA is kind of holding us up.
This is a demonstration
And we finally
of
heard from
Wirecast.
LJA on the 20th, and some of the things that they mentioned were already covered with our meetings with Ardura before they switched over. And we've already covered this stuff with the civil, so it's kind of like we have one engineer that's double dipping on approved plans from BKDD, and mind you, BKDD covered the entire lot. So our drainage was, everything from the back, everything concerning drainage and civil with the back portion and the front portion of the lot. And now LJA is suggesting that we're making changes to approved plans, which would in turn make us have to go back to
demonstration of
civil engineer
Wirecast.
and pay more money that we don't have and expend more time that we don't have. And so we're really asking for just a resolution concerning 13th Street and frankly, some way to move forward for the approval of our process so we can serve our community, because that's what we want to do.
I would say this, the blame doesn't fall on LJA. This was what they're trying to implement was something that was voted in 2002, which is a thoroughfare program. And there's a lot into that. And they may not have known about it
Yes, sir.
from the very start. And I think it's something that council need to put on the agenda and go back through to ask them and actually all the citizens on that street to give up 15 feet is a lot.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think that'll
This
ever
is a
happen, to be honest with you,
demonstration of
with
Wirecast.
residents on that street. But in that thoroughfare plan, there's a lot of changes in that, and we really need to go through that to make sure it'll fit with our community. It's not their fault. And with that being said, I would like to make a motion to grant them a variance so they can continue construction with their business. You have anything? I'm sorry.
Yes. I
Okay.
do.
This is a demonstration
so
of Wirecast.
The major thoroughfare plan,
Yes, sir.
okay, it's a big plan. I have it here. And what it does, it identifies several different streets inside the local community that are thoroughfare streets.
Yes, sir.
It also identifies different roadways that will be constructed with TxDOT,
Yes, sir.
widening the roads and different
This
things like
is a
that.
demonstration of Wirecast.
What's going to happen is, even if you receive a variance, when TxDOT come to do the work, they're going to still take that area. They're still going to take that area. And so I'm just trying to understand what happened here. Why wasn't it known when your permit, and I think we have engineering here, right? So why wasn't it known that this thoroughfare plan would affect your
This is a
project?
demonstration of Wirecast.
And maybe LJA can kind of add some.
Yeah, so from a Dura standpoint, we don't have the notes from, Dura usually kept relatively good notes on their pre-development meetings, which we haven't been given those copies. We've given some notes from Brookshire Katie's meeting, but not from Ardura. So I don't know where the disconnect was. Maybe Ardura made the decision that 13th Street would never be widened. Unfortunately, we don't have the authority as your engineer or permit.
This is a
person
demonstration
to
of
waive that.
Wirecast.
Even though I agree, 13th Street is probably never going to go through it. It's probably not great to take 15 feet from both sides. There's a lot of things in the thoroughfare plan that we've reviewed that we have some comments on, so if you ever want to dust that off, we do agree that it's worth dusting off. We had a delay in permitting. My staff
that reports to me. We had a long conversation about that, and so this past week, we have caught up on all those. And so I do apologize, there
This
were
is a
some delays on our
demonstration
part.
of Wirecast.
Some of it was our engineer in the office, our person reviewing it, their interpretation of the master thoroughfare plan and some other requirements. And so we've kind of tried to work through those, but the 13th Street is one of those that we need council to kind of give us guidance on if you want that right of way, if you don't want that right of way. Now, the text dot issue, that's an issue that everybody rolls the dice when you do construction along 359. If they ever do want to widen 359,
This is a demonstration
unfortunately
of
all over the place.
Wirecast.
And so they've got a little bit of buffer in front of theirs, so it depends on how much text dot wants. But generally, I think the rest of the comments on the plans, I think if you were to waive the 15 feet from them, I think the rest of the comments on the plans, with me sitting down with them, I think we can get through the rest of those. Some of them were just kind of clarifications, making sure grading was done properly, or would be done properly, so there wasn't any holes and stuff, really between 359 and the track, since 359 and 13th Street has some drainage concerns.
This is a
So
demonstration
who,
of
who introduced the
Wirecast.
thoroughfare plan with this packet?
So during our review, we look at the major thoroughfare plan on any road that's identified on there as especially a minor collector like 13th Street or a major collector, a major thoroughfare. What has been happening on especially commercial developments is the city has gone through to get what additional right of way. So over the last couple of years, since the thoroughfare plan was adopted, there has been some pieces of right of way that have been dedicated with some commercial
This is a
developments.
demonstration
across the
of
city.
Wirecast.
This was just part of the review that the engineer, when we look at it, we identify, okay, the major thoroughfare says this is a minor collector. If the city is going to ever widen that, they're gonna need that right of way. And so now is the time that if you wanted that right of way, you'd go through the process to try to get that right of way. So again, if they were to build, you wanted that right of way, you wouldn't negatively affect them at that point, I'm not saying you're not negatively affecting them now with their development plan, but, it's one thing to
This
do it
is a
now versus
demonstration of
completely
Wirecast.
kill it afterwards, it's already construction, because then there's a whole lot of more wasted funds that they put into their project, so it was part of our review.
And moving forward, are you going to use the thoroughfare plan for making decisions on any other development?
Until council basically modifies the thoroughfare plan or gives us, some guidance to ignore the thoroughfare plan, so to speak, it's what we'll at least use.
This is a
as part of the
demonstration of
permitting process.
Wirecast.
Which there's not you don't have a ton of roads that are identified. 12th Street's got some improvements, 13th Street and a few others. 10th Street, well, not really 10th Street, but a few others. And so we can come to you as a case by case, or you can put it on a future agenda that we dive into it, and you basically tell us until further notice, because I don't think you could do it today based on the agenda, but I'd look for legal counsel. But at a future meening, you could basically, I don't know if invalidate or.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
It'd be worth taking a look at.
We-
Yeah.
The thoroughfare plan is very important. I read it's 43 pages, and I read it. Now, can we maybe eliminate 13th Street from the plan?
You can modify the plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it will affect all the other residents on that street, but I definitely encourage everyone that has not read that thoroughfare plan to go read
This is a
it,
demonstration
because
of
it's very
Wirecast.
important to this city.
So I think tonight, I don't know if the agenda item will allow.
It's not broad enough for 13, it's really directed towards this development. But we could bring stuff like that.
Tonight, if you wanted to at least grant them a variance based on 13th Street so they can get going, then you can do that tonight, and then at a future meeting, we can address either 13th Street as a whole, or the thoroughfare plan as a whole, or however you want to.
We can do that. You just
Demonstration of
understand that
Wirecast.
if we don't remove 13th Street from the thoroughfare plan and we move forward to expand that road, your drive will be torn up anyway. So even if we award a variant and we keep 13th Street as widening the road, but they'll bypass their road when they go with the variant. we can remove 13th Street from the plan. That's the only option we have.
This is a
From what I can
demonstration
see.
of Wirecast.
I
If we-
agree. Yeah, I agree. But we can't make that motion tonight, though.
Yeah. So we're
You
gonna
can
want
waive
the
it for
variance.
them, but then we'll come back at a future meeting to
Okay.
address 13th Street as a whole and the plan as a
Really,
whole.
this wouldn't be a variance, it would be an amendment to the thoroughfare plan to remove 13, the widening of 13th Street, and anything else you think is appropriate.
But tonight it would be a
No,
variance
it's a
specifically
variance,
for
but I
the,
think y'all understood what he's saying, is it's still technically on the thoroughfare plan, even though we're granting you relief. I'm not gonna,
This
think
is
for all
a
practical
demonstration
purposes,
of Wirecast.
accomplishes what you're trying to do.
And we have our next regular meeting's next week, so we could have it on the agenda for next Thursday.
I doubt you're gonna throw a building up between now and next week. Even though you like it.
Okay.
So if we're going to bring this up next week, do we need to do a variance tonight?
I think it's important then for timing, that we move
Okay.
forward with that relief.
Okay.
because we can work through finalizing their permit and
This is a demonstration of
So
Wirecast.
you already made that a motion.
Yes.
Right.
I second his motion that he made for them.
Without prejudice. Did anybody else come for a variant? Because it could.
Nobody said anything.
Okay, we have motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Tell me who the motion and second was, I'm sorry.
Me.
Taylor.
Motion, second.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I don't know if y'all can hang around, I guess after the next agenda item, if y'all want to comments real quick.
Then we have next executive session.
Was there somebody else who wanted to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry. Brookshire,
This is a
Valdez?
demonstration of Wirecast.
They was
oh,
together.
okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's all three. of us.
Yeah, that's all was like they together.
That thing is,
So for item 8B, there's someone here to speak as well,
8B.
Mr. Kwan. He's just here for the agenda item.
12th Street expansion.
that you, sir? Yes. Come on down, please.
This for item 8B.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is James, and I represent the family of 3807 12th Street. And thank you for this opportunity for allowing me to be here to discuss about expanding 12th Street.
This is a
This family has
demonstration
owned
of
this property
Wirecast.
for over 100 years, and the parents have passed away, and the kids are no longer in the state of Texas. And this has been on the market, and we've been approached by several developers. And we were under contract with a warehouse developer, but the issue was the length of the 12th Street, or the width of it. And on the last page, you could just see the size of the 12th Street, where if it was two vehicles, it's more
This
of
is a
so of a one-way
demonstration of
street or one
Wirecast.
vehicle versus having two vehicles able to pass through, or even a larger vehicle if there was a warehouse. The other investors that were interested were developing apartments. That was another inquiry that we received. But the main objective issues that we've been receiving is the size of the 12th Street. And we wanted to see if there's something that we could work with the city regarding expanding that
This is a
street.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Thank you.
He pretty much, summed up 12th Street, going back to the major thoroughfare plan, kind of the topic of the evening. 12th Street's identified on the major thoroughfare plan as more as a local road. It does have a proposed extension beyond where it dead ends today, technically in the thoroughfare plan. It has an extension beyond to a FM 362 bypass road that's on the major thoroughfare plan. I
This
think that's
is a
actually
demonstration
part
of
Broward County's
Wirecast.
major thoroughfare plan that the city's brought into it. So it's a minor collector. It's got 30-foot right-of-way today. It's a 16-foot road today. So ideally for a local road, I'm just talking roadway specifics, and then we can talk about how you want to proceed. Local road based on the major thoroughfare plan is a 60-foot right-of-way. That's a pretty standard foot right-of-way. It would need 15 feet from both sides. There is some restriction.
This is
the
a
first
demonstration of
couple hundred feet
Wirecast.
on the south side. There's an existing development there, or existing property owner who's got a shed, I say shed, but a barn, warehouse kind of to it. That would actually, I think if I go off a memory of when I measured it, would be within that 15 feet. So as you approach 359, it would be tough to get that 15 feet on the south side, but not the end of the world. For a local road in the major thoroughfare plan, the proposed pavement is basically 32 feet.
This is a
That's
demonstration
essentially
of
2 lanes.
Wirecast.
2 lanes. One of the thoughts, though, is if you really identified the need or the want to have more heavy industrial, I say heavy industrial, more industrial than standard commercial, maybe a 40-foot lane or 40-foot wide pavement with 2 lanes and a center turn lane might be more beneficial. But again, that's just kind of a judgment, because currently a thoroughfare plan, it's 32 feet with 2 lanes.
This is a demonstration
Yeah.
of Wirecast.
The option, an option is if you wanted to work something, which this is where economic development dollars comes into play, to use sales tax and things of that nature, to help cover costs to widen that road. You could decide if you had a developer that was interested, you could put right-of-way acquisition and the design and the construction of that road on them. You could share in that cost. You can reimburse them to an extent.
This is a
You could-
obviously, there's demonstration of
all sorts other
Wirecast.
incentives technically that you could give them, from sales tax rebates to property tax rebates and things of that nature. I think we're a long ways away from that conversation. I think the first bit of information is there a desire with the city to proceed, or at least pursue potential options to widen 12th Street with the developer kind of leading that charge? Or do y'all want to work to expand 12th Street yourself? Or
This is a
we're not
demonstration
interested
of
in working with it? You
Wirecast.
may not have enough information to really make a decision which way or
Right.
the other. But before staff, and if any council members want to be a part of it, the engineer, to kind of further those discussions, we just need to know you're interested in at least identifying more of what the options are, what those costs are, what it would mean for the city. And then, we can come back, once we have that more information. What I would recommend, that if you choose and you want to kind of
This
at least
is a
get more
demonstration
information
of
and go down a little more
Wirecast.
into detail, I would recommend that at least, 2 council, well, probably not more than 2 council members, but, if 2 council members or 1 council member wants to lead that charge of being the person that we talk to, that way we have somebody we can bounce things off of before coming to council. Hopefully it cuts down on some of the discussion, during council, but also we can iron out some of those details, some of those hurdles, and issues that everybody sees. So, just makes for a smoother process versus us making
This is
assumptions.
a
bringing it to
demonstration
council,
of Wirecast.
everybody hating the assumptions we've made. So, we have had other people interested in 12th Street. Obviously, the reserves at Brookshire on the north side of 12th Street, closer to 359, so there is a traffic concern, or there is a need to widen 12th Street at that point. So there's an extra benefit from a sales tax and economic development standpoint, to see most of 12th Street expanded.
Same with
Drainage is, how we get drainage
This
off of
is a
12th Street to go
demonstration
back
of
towards the east
Wirecast.
of Brookshire Creek is probably, will have to be part of it, because we'll need to get any water that's conveyed down 12th Street to Brookshire Creek. And so there would, in an engineering standpoint, there would be some sort of drainage conveyance that would take it to the end of 12th Street into Brookshire Creek, so then 12th Street can drain. So there's a lot that comes to it with just the roadway itself. We'd add drainage into that component.
I say more discussion, cause,
This is a
nobody did this on
demonstration
12th
of
Street
Wirecast.
like, as far as the families that actually stay there, no one is here to represent, so I would ask for more discussion on that plan.
Well, you finished?
Yes.
So, you know, these are interesting times right now. There's a lot of development that is coming this way. A lot of development. So this is going to be these situations are going to come up over and over again. Okay. There's master
This
drainage
is a
plans that are being
demonstration of
implemented.
Wirecast.
TxDOT's going to be coming to the citizens for freeway expansions really, really soon. They're planning a public, just a general public meeting. It's tentatively scheduled for the 14th at school. The master thoroughfare plan also is, here we are again in play. We have one developer that wants to not expand the road. We have another developer that wants to expand the road. And that's the reason why the master thoroughfare plan needs to be reviewed, and
This
a
is a
decision needs to be made
demonstration of
and stuck to
Wirecast.
it on that, and stick to it. But concerning this project, I think this will be a project that could have conversation with EDC, because as you mentioned, that there could be some potential for a developer and City of Brookshire partnership with some tax abatements or some things like that, maybe to help, because we definitely want development. It's just going to bring tax revenue to the city. We definitely want that, okay? But we have to make sure that all the drainage things are done right, and the roadway are done right and all that. So Mr. Green is actually the president of EDC, and if you could hook up with Mr. Green, you may be able to work something out with 12th Street.
All the joys of volunteering.
Well, I will say this. I love growth. I love development.
This is a
against
demonstration
it.
of Wirecast.
But I do have a problem when it comes to taking residents' property. And like Ms. Taylor said, none of those residents are here to speak up. There's quite a few homes there, and there's also residents that's been on that street for many, many years. And this will be a problem. I know this will be a problem. So this is something that needs to be discussed. And I know development's coming. Nothing's ever going to go the way you really plan it. But you know, sometimes you have to wing it and make just wise decisions with the residents as well, because yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, this is.
Unlike 13th Street, the good thing about 12th Street, if nobody's kind of looked at the aerial and how it's laid out, so the reserves, where their property's at,
This
the
is a
reserves kind
demonstration of
overlap.
Wirecast.
And the reserves hasn't developed that piece of their tract yet. So getting creative in roadway design, you know, to widen it, assuming it's difficult to get the south piece, maybe we work something out to incentivize the reserves to give up more right-of-way than they have. I think they gave up, 10, if I remember correctly. But maybe they give up a little bit more, and then when we get back to their track, that right-of-way kind of flips, so then those
This is a
residents across the street
demonstration
from
of
them don't bear
Wirecast.
that brunt of the widening. And then it's there are developments on the south side, but generally on the south side, there's not a lot of development currently. There was another landowner a couple of lots down from this one that did come and talk to us Tuesday about some potential that they're looking at doing down there. So again, at least 12th Street, there are some options so that hopefully at least those existing residents on the north side won't
This
have to
is a
feel the brunt. They'll get the
demonstration of
benefit of a wide
Wirecast.
road, but we don't need the right of way potentially from them. So we have some things we can get creative on, thankfully on 12th Street.
I know I'm not prepared to make a decision on this tonight. Council, have you've been doing this for quite a long time, so
I'm not familiar with this particular project.
not the project, but the process.
I'm very familiar with the process.
So in how have you seen?
I think the first step
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
with somebody, some liaison from the city to talk about options. So we'll talk about potential options. I mean, there's everything from full expansion to being creative with how we improve rights of way. I'm not familiar with 12th Street enough to know what the problem might be across the street or down the reserve, I assume is what, is it an apartment complex?
No, it's a commercial.
It's a commercial
They
development?
were looking at apartments, but it's all
Okay.
commercial, retail, that kind of stuff.
I mean, it just, I think we're not looking for
This is a demonstration
necessarily
of
an answer in
Wirecast.
direction. Are y'all interested in at least having a conversation? And if you are, then I think we'll start that conversation.
Yeah,
Bring
we,
a proposal back, and I think the recommendation, being the board president of the EDC, since it sounds like council's going to encourage the EDC to be part of the funding, if there is funding,
yeah.
that y'all take a hard look at it too. So I mean, but in public infrastructure is absolutely something the EDC can fund. And it sounds like the recommendation was to have the developer take on all the project, and then just we act, once we accept the infrastructure that we
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I mean, that's that's probably the best option for the city, but there's.
There's other options. There's other ways to incentivize if that's not on the table. But do you want us to at least start the conversation and come up with some ideas?
Yes.
And at the same time, it sounds like y'all are charging the developer and staff to start those conversations with some of the adjacent property owners.
And I would hope the EDC would be involved with that as well.
Yes, sir.
Does that sound like a fair start?
Yes, sir.
You got your direction?
This
Thank
is
you.
a demonstration of Wirecast.
We're just gonna,
No action, just direction to put together a meeting.
Excuse me. So your report,
Yes, sir.
do we discuss your report? We need to, there's some things in your report here.
do we accept it as part of the consent agenda? However, you can, if you have a comment before you leave, you
I
can
do.
pull that and reopen that.
This is a demonstration
do.
of
And
Wirecast.
real quick, let me give a little bit of background on that report. We've kind of listened to some of the council meetings, and communication has been a big topic of conversation. So one of the things we wanted to start doing is, even though you may not have something the engineer needs from you, or you need something from the engineer for that month, what we'd like to start doing is kind of producing a report of, hey, this is at least what we've been working on this past month. So this is kind of a first look of what you'll get monthly from us.
This is a
If you like it, you
demonstration of
hate it, you want to see
Wirecast.
something different, just let us know. The general thought with this is give you the information, and then if we need to follow up with specific agenda items at future meetings, we can do it. But obviously, when we submit it, if it gets put on the consent agenda and we're here, obviously, we're more
Well-
than welcome to pull it and talk to you about it.
I like the report. I think it's good, but I have some questions about this first one that you submitted.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So here,
This is a
Lakeside
demonstration
outfalls.
of Wirecast.
as mentioned right here in your report, there's some safety issues with the outfall and the drainage in Lakeside.
Yes.
And you had mentioned that, is this an HOA responsibility or a city of Brookshire responsibility? Because you mentioned that
So one of the things on that we have not been able to determine is, and Brookshire Katy is facing this issue, is that this pond is considered a private pond. Now, for
This
for
is a
residential
demonstration
properties, it's
of
kind of an
Wirecast.
older trend. Because of issues like this, the trend across the region is at least to make sure the outfall is in a public easement, so that if you have an issue like this, a public agency can go in and clean it up. In this case, there's no public easement that we've been able to find over that outfall. So really unless y'all have a different process you want to go through, the next step is that we're going to visit with your attorney to figure out what options does the city have. Does the city have any options
This is a
to be able to touch it?
demonstration of Wirecast.
It has failed. It's in terrible condition. We didn't see, when I've been out there a couple of times now with Brookshire Katy and just going out there to take some updated pictures. I don't see a lot of activity where kids are playing around with it, but there could be some. I know at a young age I was probably down there in those pipes in similar situations. So again, we need to visit with the attorney on what you legally can do, but I think there is a safety concern
Brookshire
This
Katy
is a
has not been able to get the
demonstration of
HOA to make
Wirecast.
the changes. I think the HOA may have repaired it once before, but that repair was not adequate, whatever that repair was.
Okay, so the safety concern is that kids or people could go around this area and it could collapse and that could be an injury, right?
Right now, it's collapsed, so really the thought is there's some concrete, some broken up things in there that if somebody's playing around, they trip and fall is kind of the safety concern. The other thing is it's not draining way its intention,
This
so
is a
it is not
demonstration
serving
of
its purpose from a
Wirecast.
drainage perspective.
Okay.
Um,
Is there a way that maybe it could be fenced off? This particular area can be fenced off?
I'm sure it can, yes, sir.
Okay.
We can work with
By the
Public Works.
city, we would have legal,
I
see that?
I'll visit with the attorney, and then if we need to, we can get Public Works maybe to fence it off. That's probably the quickest, most
Right.
direct way to do it.
Yeah, if you could do that, visit with the attorney. Now, concerning Public Works fencing it off, when you visit with the attorney and find out whose responsibility is to maintain this,
Demonstration of
then we will have
Wirecast.
code enforcement, if needed, to get with the HOA, and they need to pay to fence this off,
Correct.
if it's their responsibility. So we would like to know that, yeah. Also, the ARPA project,
Yes, sir.
I thought there was 4 streets associated with the ARPA project, and you have many streets on here.
Correct.
Why do you have
This
many
is a
streets on here?
demonstration of
It's just
Wirecast.
the ARPA, the list that we got when we first came on board from basically the grant, from GrantWorks, included most of these streets over the time. I think it was, I don't know if it was one of our planning meetings to talk about the project, or I don't think it was a council meeting. I think it was one of the planning meetings, was to look at adding Baines,
This is a
and
demonstration of Wirecast.
Baines for sure, and 11th Street, I believe, was a request to add it. We added 13th Street, so that if we can use ARPA funds to pay for it to improve that pavement, we'll use those funds, and if there's not enough money. There's two things, there's a way to fund ARPA. Obviously, we can include all these roads, and if you don't want us to include all these roads, we can make that change. That's just the list of ARPA roads that we were originally given. Is we can include all these streets in there. If the
This is a
pricing, I don't think the
demonstration
pricing
of
will come back to
Wirecast.
be able to fix all of them with the ARPA funds, maybe if we're really lucky. But we'd include all of them as an alternate. And then if the city wanted to pitch in, if the ARPA is only going to cover 80% of the improvements and the city wants to pitch in the other 20%, you can do that through the ARPA project and get it all done under one contract, maybe get in a scale economy. But no, if you want to pull some of these out, we have no, it's y'all are the decision makers, so if you want to change the priorities. Most of these roads were
This
selected
is a
because they needed
demonstration of
mainly an
Wirecast.
overlay only, so it was more of an aesthetic improvement. Because ARPA wouldn't necessarily cover the complete reconstruction from base all the way up. But again, we can definitely rearrange that and use it on other streets if you wanted to.
Do you know the status of the ARPA project?
I heard, I think we were waiting on,
We're having a meeting next week
yes.
to talk about the
This
roads.
is a demonstration
and
of
I think there's like a
Wirecast.
survey that has to be done or something, is that right?
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah. They said it would be like October before that was
Okay.
done.
And just for information, that ARPA project is at $1.3 million, right? Is that correct?
No,
Is that different?
that's different.
It's a different one,
The
yeah.
1.3 is the drainage.
Drainage, okay. All right, so then we need to do some homework on this one, find out which roads we want to,
On South Street, 3608, 3612, 3616,
This is a
are those
demonstration of
future sites
Wirecast.
for homes?
So those are residential permits for homes. We have issued comments on those, and our biggest comment on that, which actually came from council, was basically to have them look at other driveway options than cutting across South Street. We haven't gotten a response back from them yet, but it appeared, based on some feedback we received from one of your council meetings, was that
This
council's
is a
desire
demonstration of
to
Wirecast.
avoid culvert crossings over South Street, or you had a desire to avoid culvert crossings over South Street. And so we've commented on that. There are other options they could use to develop that versus driveways, especially since they have that whole block.
Mhm.
And so we provided that to them and basically mentioned that in order to provide, in order to proceed with those driveways, they would have to provide an engineer study that council would have to review and approve as far as whether you would grant those. But council's primary
This is a demonstration of
primary desire
Wirecast.
is to avoid driveways over South, or over the ditch.
But as of now, there is one that was approved.
There were two that, there is one that was approved February, well, I don't remember the exact date, but earlier this year, correct. They provided some calculations that show they weren't gonna negatively impact it. And so that's why that one got through there. But based on council's feedback, we're gonna take a harder look at it.
Okay.
So
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I imagine they're gonna come back upset, but, you know, I don't disagree. And Brookshire, Katie and I, we've had a lot of conversations on the maintenance, even though they don't maintain that, they have a lot of concerns on the maintenance and these culverts and everything, so, and we don't disagree. One of the things, while we're talking about this, just mention it briefly, we are having monthly meetings with Brookshire Katy Drainage District to go over any permits, any projects, anything that we see, or the district sees that they want us to make aware of. I think we're actually looking for a different date
This is a
because there's some conflicts
demonstration
that
of
have come up
Wirecast.
for the various people who are there. But if anybody would ever like to attend one of those to hear kind of our conversation, feel free to let me know and we can send you the invite for that. But we found benefit and, you know, it's tough to get pre-development meetings the same time with Brookshire Katy, although that's something we're kind of trying to work towards, is seeing if there's a way we can have pre-development meetings all at once with the water district, BKDD, and the city. That way we get everybody in the room at once versus applicants having to meet here, and meet there. So
This is a demonstration
that kind
of
of sparred
Wirecast.
Brookshire Katy and us to at least meet as we work through those. So we've been doing that for quite, for a few months now. But again, we can invite anybody who would like to attend those. Even if you don't make either one, it's virtual and in-person options, so they're pretty easy to attend.
I don't have anything else.
Like I said, if anybody has any questions, I know Erica's got my phone number. Y'all should have it too. But if you have any questions
This is
outside
a
of a council
demonstration
meeting,
of
feel free
Wirecast.
to give me a call. I'm in the office most days, except for site visits and things like that. But feel free to give me a call. It rings no matter what. So.
Thank you.
Now we're going to go into executive session.
Yes, sir. Next agenda item is executive session.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I asked it.
I don't think they can hear you, Mayor.
Huh?
They can't hear you.
Next item is executive session. I'd ask y'all to step out, please.
It's better.
See, they have to put, I have to start doing like you put it.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. 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 This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Man, that was short. Okay, it is now 8:32. I'm gonna get me one. It is now 8:32. We're back from executive session.
This is a demonstration
next
of
item
Wirecast.
is number 10, discussing impossible action resulting from executive session, which is none. Correct?
Correct.
Next, we'll move to agenda item number 11,
We
future.
need to go back to
Go back to
8A.
8A to do the budget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
This is a demonstration of
Okay, 8A.
Wirecast.
discussion and possible action to adopt the proposed budget for the 2024 and 2025 fiscal year.
I make a motion that we adopt the amended budget.
A second.
Which budget are we adopting? The originally proposed or the revised?
The motion was for the amended budget.
The amended.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Correct.
As discussed earlier under the agenda item, which I believe the city secretary has all the notes necessary for this. Is there anybody that needs that read out again so they understand? Yes. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Is anybody on council that needs that reread to them? Entertain citizen comments if you don't want.
Just, I have one clarification, just this is the budget that
This is a
removes funding
demonstration
for
of
the position of
Wirecast.
a city administrator.
Removes funding for the city administrator position. And the other amendments as other,
Right.
they presented earlier.
So we have a motion and a second. Do we have all in favor?
We're going to do a roll call
Yes, a
vote,
roll
Mayor.
call for budget adoption.
Mr. Gray?
For.
This is a demonstration
Taylor,
of
your vote?
Wirecast.
Mr. McAnally?
Against.
Mr. Richard?
For.
And Ms. McDade?
4.
Okay.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Yeah, may I move on? May I move on?
Now we're on the
Holiday schedule.
Did I skip one?
No, that is all under consent agenda. All
Yeah.
of that was done. as a
That's
one
the-
big
This
swell.
is a
No,
demonstration of
we was
Wirecast.
discussing order, did we take care of the holiday schedule?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the holiday, the holidays.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. Y'all typically adjust meeting dates to work around holiday schedules?
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
You got your holiday
We,
schedule?
we already,
yeah, it's in the, it was in the consent agenda.
So you're gonna suggest the meeting date, right?
Yes.
Council meeting dates, that's what we're talking about.
The fourth
No,
would be the first
it's-
This is a
Thursday.
demonstration of
October
Wirecast.
4th would be the first Thursday, is that correct?
Yes.
So we
No,
would,
October 3rd is the first Thursday, October 4th is Fair
What?
Day.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's no need to change the meeting?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I had this way up in the air, so.
Are there any other meeting dates that, other than the schedule you provided, that need to be addressed?
No, no.
okay. I'm gonna get this right.
This
sooner
is
or
a
later.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Number 11,
I move that we adjourn.
number 11,
It's your agenda items.
is your agenda item.
Oh. Sorry. Number 11 is usually adjournment.
Mr. Green, I'll start with you.
No, sir. I don't have anything.
Q.
It used to be.
Ms. Taylor,
No, no.
Mr. McAnally.
This
I just
is
wanna
a
make sure that we've
demonstration
captured
of
the,
Wirecast.
The need for the revisiting of the thoroughfares for the next meeting.
Yes, sir. I'll put it on there though.
Any more?
No.
Mr. Richards.
You think I'm talking to your 12 people, 12 Street residents.
And Ms. McDade.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Sounds like a winner to me.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Now we'll move on to agenda item number 12, adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.